Thank you. I will.
I'll participate somehow. Share. Yeah. I'll provide the lower.
They say you bring us down a whole lot.
That's right.
I don't know.
Well, since someone's here, I guess we don't have. Oh, yeah, yeah. You can.
Yeah, you're right. Everybody needs to do it. Trees grow tall, trees grow strong, trees grow in the wind all life long. Trees hold the ground as they reach for the sky. All trees for endless seas, they have for a life. Trees grow slow, trees grow strong, trees grow in the wind, all life long. Trees hold the ground as they reach for the sky. All trees need their seeds, they have for a life. I don't know if you guys can help us out on this next one. This is their little Buddha. It's a last one. So we need help for kids. And some ideas. We need to shout out an idea, okay? When we ask for the word, can you help us with that? No? So, sitting under a holy tree, where so good as kindness quiet as dignity. Sitting on the eyes of broad, sitting like a bump on a log, sitting with a smile on his face, sitting like an empty space. What good Father, oh, Buddha, I wonder.
No.
Poison ivy, I heard. But it was about poison ivy. Was about poison ivy. Just roll on was about my soul. We let that snow just roll along. There's over the sitting under the holy tree. There's over the mind's quiet and me. Sitting like a wise old frog, sitting like a buffalo log, sitting with a smile on his face, kind of like empty space. Doesn't mind rain, doesn't mind thunder. What would my old Buddha I wonder? Lice? Oh, it was about lice. It was about lice. It left the lice. Just roll on. It was about lice. It was about lice. Just let that lice. Just roll on. One more time. Hello, sitting under the holy tree. There's over the mind's quiet as it can be. Sitting like a wise old frog, sitting like a buffalo log, sitting with a smile on his face, kind of like empty space. So wonderful. Doesn't mind rain, doesn't mind thunder. What could fire old Buddha I wonder? Did I say this time? Was my dad saying time? We was my dad saying time. You better take like saving time. Just go on. Was my dad saying time? Was my dad saying time? You better take like saving time. Just go on. Yeah. We good? Yeah, 10 o'clock. Right on time. Oh, let's do it. People coming now. We could sing small duets while they're coming in. You want to hear small duets? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Small duets. Shoe, tie to
you. You was right in front of you. Small Buddhist, great Buddhist, great Buddhist, small Buddhist, marvelous golden,
Close the door. Close the door. Tradition. Struck for the fish. Wash there. Feel there. Buddha mind is everywhere. Small Buddhist, great Buddhist, great Buddhist, mighty king. Small Buddhist, marvelous open, Rama Prajnaparami. Wherever change that, white trees, white seas, you are perfect and complete. Small Buddhist, great Buddhist, great Buddhist, small Buddhist, marvelous moment, Maha when I feel sitting slowly, mindfulness will set you free. Small Buddhist, great Buddhist, great Buddhist, mighty king. Small Buddhist, marvelous moment, Maha Prajnaparami. So, anyone who is under the age of, sitting, those who are parents, but anyway, so anyone who doesn't know, obviously, Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday service. We begin this service with 3 mindful prostrations together. And if prostrations are not something that's available to you, then you are welcome just to do bow. But for those of us who can do prostrations, let's stand up and face the Buddha and do them together. And Athena and Xander, if you can help me to show people if they're right. No? Okay. Then just talk to me. All right, so we do bow. Hands up. And down on our knees. We look at the Buddha. And down. Forehead on the floor. Hands up toward the sky. And then up again. We're going to go down once more. Look at the Buddha. And down, forehead on the ground. And once more. This time, get back up to our knees. Face Buddha and down once more. Stand up. Let's all make bow together. Okay. My name is Hayun. I'll be leading the first part of this service today. So if you could all take your seats. We're going to be sitting for a few minutes, and then the adults are going to stay and sit for longer later. But for right now, just a few minutes. Hands open, Hapchong, sincere heart. Feel the breath coming in through your nose. All the little nose hairs filtering each breath we take. It goes down into our lungs and goes out toward our whole body. Sit comfortably. Remember that we are mountains. All the things happening around us, all of our thoughts, are just like clouds that pass by. Let them pass. Now let's come up to a standing position again, and we'll do the 3 refuges together in English. Okay. Repeat after me, please.
Buddha, the awakened one,
and the living force of peace.
and the living force of peace.
May I take refuge in the Buddha.
May I take refuge in the Buddha.
Dharma, moral discipline and wisdom.
Dharma, moral discipline and wisdom.
May I take refuge in the Dharma.
May I take refuge in the Dharma.
Sangha, the happy and joyous community
Sangha, the happy and joyous community
of all living beings.
of all living beings.
May I take refuge in the Sangha.
May I take refuge in the Sangha.
You can take your seats now. Xander and Athena, can I ask you to help me to pass something out to everyone? I don't know. Did you want me to? All right, Xander, can you pass out to this half of the room? And Athena? You pass those out. Everybody gets one. I have more in case everyone doesn't get one. Xander. Need more? Xander, hey, Dan, needs one. Does everyone have one? Okay. All right, so what I want to do now, thank you, Athena, is everyone open their card, and we're going to go around and very fast. Just go around. You're going to start with Erica and just go around the room, and everyone's going to read out. Did you not get it?
Oh, yeah.
We need two more. Okay, so we're starting with Erica. You're going to read out, and we're just going to go along. We're not taking very long. We're not going to reflect. Just read out what yours says.
Inga Devas, six-tusked elephant, royal goose, farmer, goose king, otter.
Sea Deva, Tree Deva,
Go ahead.
Horse Trader,
Dog king, alpaca, Arabian leader, single bird,
Leader of crows.
patient buffalo,
Loud so everyone can hear.
patient buffalo, wise rabbit,
Golden deer,
naga prince,
golden peacock,
bear king,
Deer.
leader of the rest,
Stone cutter.
foot, king of monkeys,
Oh,
king of monitor lizards,
Honest child and student.
golden goose,
Elephant trainer.
Noble Stag, King of Birds,
woodpecker, wise partridge.
outcast,
Foxpenny king,
Noble white elephant.
Banyan deer.
Tree deva.
Okay, did everyone go?
Music teacher. I think golden goose.
Golden goose. Okay, so everyone's gone now, right? So I'm sure we have a few people in the room who are like professors or people who are studying for being a professor, PhD, something like that. So maybe one of you wise people could tell us what all this has in common with each other. Okay. I'll give you.
alive.
That's a really good point. So here's what they have in common. They were all the Buddha in one of the Buddha's lives. The Buddha was one of all of these creatures, all of these celestial beings, all of these people the Buddha was. Because you know what? Before the Buddha was the Buddha, many lifetimes before then, he was just an average guy like us. And he was really, really nice to people, though. He followed the paramitas. He really was a good guy. And so one time he met with a Buddha of that era who was named Dipankara Buddha. And Dipankara told the fellow who was then not the Buddha yet, you're ready to, become enlightened. And the Buddha said, I want to wait. I know some people at the Ann Arbor Zen Buddhist temple who I want to bring with me. And so I want to wait. So the Buddha waited many, many lifetimes. All of these creatures and all of these things we read, he waited to bring us along. So the reason I'm telling you this story is the topic of our talk today is bodhisattvas. So a bodhisattva, for those of you who don't know, is someone who puts their own interests, pulls it back, and says, I want to bring other people with me. So it's not about, I think so highly of myself that I want to put myself first, but it's also not, I think so lowly about myself that I'm going to step back, but it's about saying, let's do it together. And that's the lesson of the bodhisattvas. So these are from Buddhist stories that actually exist. There's 547 of them. And in each of these stories, the Buddha in a prior lifetime played one of these magical creatures and people. And so they're just beautiful stories with beautiful lessons. But I wanted to give you a taste of all of the different bodhisattvas that existed. Got you. And then but the other, the story I wanted to tell you today wasn't so much about the Buddha's former lifetimes, but about a real life bodhisattva who is pretty precious in her own right. And that is the person sitting next to me with all of the arms, all of the heads, all of the eyes, and her name is Kwanseum Posal. Can you say that with me? Kwanseum Posal. So Kwanseum Posal is a really special bodhisattva, and I wanted to take a few minutes to tell you her story because she has an amazing story. So she grew up in a place not too far from here. I think it was actually near Ypsilanti. And she was a really good kid from just being really young. She was always really a good kid. She wanted to do what's best, a lot like all of you here. And so, but she had like this special compassion thing going on in her. So in fact, Kwanseum Posal did not even like to eat vegetables because she felt like she was killing a vegetable by eating it. So what happened was not good because she gravitated to things like mac and cheese, Snickers bars, things that she didn't know where they came from. But her mom knew that this was not good for Kwanseum just to eat processed foods. Just as your parents know it's not good for you to eat processed foods, my parents know that. So her mom took her out into this big garden And when Kwanzaa walked in to the garden, she could actually feel the broccoli like sidling up to her. And she knew at that point that it was really better for her to eat her vegetables because the broccoli kind of taught her by sidling up to her about the beautiful oneness of everything. And that as the broccoli becomes us, it shares in our joy because we're growing and we're getting stronger by eating things like broccoli. Whereas Kwanzaa, what she was eating before, chips, candy bars, not good. Broccoli was helping her to grow, but she still had this beautiful sense of compassion. So throughout her schooling, she was really drawn to things that would allow her to do special things for other people. And when she saw someone like fall off their skateboard, she was right there. When she saw someone crying who was sitting alone, she went over and ate her lunch with them. So she had this like beautiful sense of compassion that we all have, but it wasn't formed yet. And so I remember when she was on the basketball team in junior high school. Is anyone here on a basketball team or played basketball before? All right, so Kwanzaa, I'll set the stage. It's the end of the game. She's at the free throw line. If she makes the free throw, her team wins. If she doesn't make her free throw, her team will be disappointed. But if she makes the free throw, the other team is going to be crushed. So what does she do? She throws the ball up, and have you ever seen the ball when it sticks, like it gets into that corner piece of the basket and it doesn't move? So the whole game sort of froze because everyone was like, oh, did we win? Did we not win? Did we lose? Did we not lose? So no one won or lost, and everyone went away happy. And so that's a nice little Kwanzaa story. So as she got bigger, she wanted to apply to college. So Kwanzaa is on her way. She's making applications. Some of you know this process of applying for college. She took her ACTs, her Advanced Compassion Training Test, and it went well. She was really doing well. And so she applied for top-notch school. And does anyone know what her top school would be? I'll tell you. Huh? Spellman. Close. Harvard Dharma. That's where she wanted to go. And lo and behold, she got into Arbor. Oh my God. So she ends up going there. It's the first day of school. She's beyond excited because this is her dream. She wants to study the Dharma. So she walks in and it's this like big archway and big seal gates, and it opens up and you can see the ivy climbing and you can see it's old. It's like Hogwarts. It's like, whoa. And she goes, and the upperclassmen are handing out baseball caps, and they're powder blue, and there's a big banner powder blue, and it's the school's motto, make enlightenment great again. And it's just, they're all like, wow, and Kwanzaa knows she's home. And so she just embraces the whole thing. She's involved in advanced paramita studies. She is studying Abhidharma 401.3. She's just into it. And she's even doing a special study on examining and discovering that all of the 5 skandhas are equally empty. But that's not a part of this story. But she has all this stuff going on. Her favorite class, because we all have favorite classes, her favorite class was with Professor Manjushri. And he taught her, the class was about applied compassion studies. And so what that meant is she was out in the field a lot. So as soon as Kwanzaa saw someone fall off their skateboard, she was there. As soon as she saw 2 people arguing and not getting along, she was there to help them. As soon, and really hard stuff too, as soon as she saw a woman whose husband had just died, she was there. So she was doing all this stuff and really, really engaged. When she saw someone who was sick and in the hospital, she was there. And she felt really good about herself. She's wearing her hat, she's out there. And her Professor Manjushri, he was an interesting fellow. He had these little spectacles that were wire rims. And he had a big beard, like kind of Gandalf. And so Dumbledore, like that. So, and he had a pink face, and he was kind of bald, and he he didn't sit in a chair. He actually was able to just sit on a little cloud. So there was a little cloud that was perched about 3 feet above the ground, and he kind of just hovered there. But she loved Professor Manjushri. Man, he was such a good teacher. So she's out there, she's doing her thing, and suddenly she sees, wait a minute, you're the same kid who fell on your skateboard yesterday. And wait, you're the same couple that was arguing yesterday. And wait, you're the same person who was crying yesterday. I can't do this. This is just way too much, because as soon as I try to help someone, something else happens, and something else happens to Devin. And she just suddenly got really depressed. And you know what she did? It wasn't good. She went out to a convenience store and bought a Snickers bar and a Diet Coke. Oh, I'm like, Quansia, you can have the Snickers, but not the Diet Coke. That will kill you. Don't drink that. But here she was sitting in her dorm. She's depressed. She's like, I can't do this. I just can't do it. She ate her Snickers, sip a Diet Coke, and she's like, God was Professor Manjushri. This is just not working for me. So she takes her stuff. She walks into his classroom. Professor Manjushri, I can't do this. This is not happening. I can't save these people. I don't know what I was thinking. All I can do is save myself. That moment, her head exploded. I mean, it was everywhere. There were eyeballs in the corner. There was skin tissue and brains on the wall. I mean, it was pow. And her, I feel a little lightheaded now.
How many minutes?
Well, that was just one. It went all over the place.
Didn't have any extra
Professor Manjushri, you know what he said? He said, here's what happened that made your head explode. You doubted yourself. You didn't think you could do it. But I always knew you could. And now we have this mess on our hands. So what are we going to do with the mess? It caused him. Whoa. And so he gets on his phone. Dean Amitabha? Yes, Dean. Okay. Amitabha Buddha, Dean. It's Manjushri here. How are the kids? Good. Glad to hear it. Your partner's good? He's good too? Great. All right. We have a little problem down here. A little episode has occurred. One of my students' head has exploded. It's all over the walls and floor. I'm not quite sure what to do about this, Professor Dean Amitabha. Maybe you could advise me. Oh, okay. Meet you out at the soccer field in 10 minutes. Got it. Can do. All right, Kwanzaa, here's what we got to do. We got to take a bowl. We got to put all your head, your eyes, your brain, your skull, we got to put it in a bowl and head out to the soccer field because Dean Amitabha is going to help us out. So they do. They carry a big bowl with her head in it, and they go out to the soccer field, and Professor Manjushri puts on sunglasses. And Kwanzaa is like, why are you doing that? And he's like, well, Dean Amitabha is pretty bright. And she goes, well, I know he's very smart. He goes, no, he's really bright. He's like the Buddha of light. He's light. So that's why I need sunglasses. So descending from the sky, it's like fairy dust almost. No need for legs to walk. Comes Dean Amitabha and he lands. And he says, Kwanzaa, you doubted yourself. What on earth? We all believe in you and you doubted. But I can help you. Oh, thank you, Dean. Thank you. Well, do you believe in yourself now? I'm a little lightheaded, but I think I do. And so he says, all right. And pop, just like something under a greenhouse, like in came a head. And smiling. And she started feeling the sprouting of more heads. Poof, 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 poof. And she had 10 smiling heads. 10. And then, you know what? there was one really grumpy head. I bet that grumpy head, see, she had the grumpy head because sometimes we need that. Sometimes that's what we need. There's nothing that I hate more than when I'm really grumpy or really depressed and someone comes with a big smiley face on. You kind of need someone who understands you so that's why she has a grumpy head. So she has 10 kind of smiling mean faces, and then she has one really grumpy head. And then suddenly, like popcorn, all of these hands, all of these arms, and every hand has an eye. It made it very hard for her to eat ice cream. But it was really good for seeing all the suffering and troubles that people have in the world. And Kwanzaa Posal is able to reach out, and that's why they call her the Bodhisattva that sees and hears all of the suffering of the world. And she's there with us. And the biggest message of this from Kwanzaa to you and you and you and me is that we are all Kwanzaa Posal. If you look at her arms here, and there's another one up here, we are all an arm. You're an arm, and you're an arm, and you're an arm, and you are too. And everyone, no, and one of Kwanzaa's arms, not creepy, except it's hard to eat ice cream. So, but what we want you to do for the next week, everyone in this room, grown-ups, kids alike, what we want you to do, what Kwanzaa would like you to do, and I would like you to do, is to think of one way that you can become a bodhisattva this week. And remember, that means not thinking so high of yourself that it's me first. And it's not thinking so low of yourself that it's, oh, you go, I don't want to go. But it's us going together. It's that together action. So I want you to think of one time that you can have together action with someone else this week that makes both of you feel really good about yourself. Can we make that commitment together? Okay, let's do it. So to end our session today, you read well, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, come on up. You're going to read today.
I did it the other day.
You did? Sandy, you want to read? No? Sure. Okay, good. All right. This book, we have actually one of our scriptures from Moon Journeying Through Clouds is called The Way of the Bodhisattva. And we're going to read, Xander's going to read the second half of The Way of Bodhisattva. And can I have a volunteer for a bell ringer? Okay, come on up. Xander, you sit here. Athena, you sit here. All right, so we're just reading this page, Xander. Okay? Okay, you gotta speak very loudly because Haji doesn't hear very well, okay? Okay, and so three times, bell first. Everyone, hands in Pakchong, please. Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Xander, right here.
May I be an island for those who seek one, and for the desiring one. May I be a bed for all who wish to rest. May I be a wishing tool, a magic flame, these powerful mantras and great medicine. May I be a wish-fulfilling tree and a cow of plenty for the world. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the countless creatures. And until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the forms of very beings that reach unto the ends of space. Just as the previous bodhisattvas conceived the spirit of enlightenment, and just as they successfully lived in the bodhisattva practices. Likewise, for the sake of all that lives, do I conceive the spirit of enlightenment, and likewise shall I too successfully yoga practices.
And now to end our families portion of the service today, Saram, you're going to lead us in Love Grows.
All right, see if you can sing along. Those of you who have been to Peace Camp before, those of you who've been to Peace Camp before know this one, so I don't have to be so nervous. Love grows one by one, 2 by 2, and 4 by 4. Love grows round like a circle, comes down knocking on your front door. Love grows 1 by 1, 2 by 2, and 4 by 4. Love grows round like a circle, comes down knocking on your front door. One more time. Love grows 1 by 1, 2 by 2, and 4 by 4. Love grows round like a circle, comes back knocking on your front door.
Okay, and now we're going to have Haji Sunan use her magical powers to fly up here. And the rest of us on the families program are going to take our leave and go over to the other building.
I think I remember that this is so much to do. What is?
A couple of renditions of what goes. Love grows one by one, 2 by 2, and 4 by 4. Love grows round like a circle. Come back knocking at your front door. Love grows 1 by 1, 2 by 2, and 4 by 4. Love grows round like a circle. Come back knocking at your front door. So they've gone over to our Sangha house to be involved in various age groups of activities. And we have about 45 minutes together. So let's first stand since we've been sitting. And maybe just a few of the energy movements that we do early in the morning before we begin our prostrations and meditation practice. So bringing your feet under your shoulders and bending your knees a little bit so there's flexibility rather than being rigid. And then bringing the first finger and thumb together and coming up with the eyes and inhaling and then exhaling down. And inhaling up and exhaling down. Keep those knees bending and you go down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And switching to the next one, a little wider, a little deeper, sitting and inhaling and exhaling together. Inhaling, good, and exhaling together. Let's slow down a little bit. Slowing down just a little bit more. And the third one, bringing the legs a little bit together again. One hand up with the eyes there. And then exhale and inhale up. Pressing up with the heel of the hand, fully present. Good, and then down and putting your palms out on your buttocks area. All these movements affect all the systems in our body. They detoxify, they reduce inflammation and stagnation. This particular one is good for the nervous system, take our head deeply to the right, to the point where the eyes touch at the furthest place we can see. And then we inhale forward slowly. And exhale around to the left. Eyes touching at the furthest place. Inhaling again forward. And exhaling deeply to our right, feeling how the spinal vertebrae are being massaged. Inhaling forward. And to the left, deeply. And inhaling forward and then ready for the next one. This one is particularly good for the whole digestive system, assimilation, digestion, and elimination. So you come down, buttocks as low as you can, and then you bring, in my case, it'll be my left arm, it'll be your right, over to the opposite leg, and the arm, upper arm, folds right around the body, and the head goes right around, looking as far around and up as possible. It's a little rigorous. And then coming up slowly, and changing sides. And inhaling up slowly. And final time. Inhale up. Shake the legs a little bit. So feel how our body energy is affected by these. Hands at the back, leaning back as inhaling, and then folding, exhaling, and bend the knees so you can put your hands flat, and then stretch the knees as much as you can. It'll be different for each of you. Some of you may have straight legs. And breathe in the position. And slowly inhale up. Putting the hands on the back, leaning way back, eyes taking a spot as farther back as you can. And then exhaling down again. The knees are first bent and then straighten them as much as you can. And breathe. Breathing in a little bit of a challenging or a big challenging position is always good. Inhaling up. Breathing back. And exhaling down. Again, straighten those legs. Breathing. Experimenting with how you can do this as completely as you can. Inhaling up and shaking the legs a little bit. I know one for now. It has two versions. One is to really ha, and then ha. Okay, ready? Hey?
Hey.
Okay. Ha. And bring that arm right back so that you're working with your whole shoulder. And then ha. 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 Okay, now the next one is the second level of this one is to go out, finger up, open, and turn so that you can feel it again in your shoulder deeply. And back, fist. Good. Slowly tuck in the thumb. Just slowly back. Learning how to coordinate your breath with your harmonizing with each position that you do. And back. Now hands by the sides. Just bend your knees a little bit. We've been working with energy channels that go from right down the front of our body, down from our waist, down our legs, and through the back. You probably have something that you do that really balances things for you. So for about a minute or so, just do a thing that you know is particularly helpful for your body. Okay. Fully present, harmonize your breath with what you're doing. Slowly. Slowly bringing this practice to an end for yourself. And returning to your place of meditation, standing with your heels, if you have a mat, just touching your mat. Or right by your chair. And then the chukpi is the sound. If you're standing up, it is to sit down. And if you're sitting down, it means stand up. But in this case, we may bow and then sit down. And this is called compose yourself. You are a seeker. So we've done some stretching, worked with our body systems, nervous system, digestive, lymphatic. And as we sit, we try for our body to have as best alignment as possible. And it helps if you bend forward, even if you're in a chair, stretch your back, chin out, eyes back. Breathing and then coming up, and putting your weight on the back of your buttocks, reaching up, palms out, and slowly bringing your arms down. You can feel how your spine gets aligned, placing the left hands on top of the right fingers, touching the thumbs together. Sometimes it helps to just sway very slowly from side to side. So you get your sitting bones equally weighted. Your sitting bones, your knees, creating a stable posture with as much alignment as possible. Taking 3 slow breaths, breathing in to your own count of 5, breathing out to your own count of 5, 3 times. And as you breathe in, feel how the cool air enters the back of the nostrils. That's the energy channel to your prana, your ki, your chi, energy in your body. You have 2 eyes when you meditate. The outer eye, just bring down to a place about 2 to 3 feet in front of you in an unfocused way. Your inner eye, and it can function with your outer eye, is inner awareness. And as the bell rings, we're going to sit for about 15 minutes. So go to your meditation practice, which might be different for each one of you. Just sitting in awareness. Breathing with awareness. Counting the breaths with awareness. Questioning all of these. What is it? What is it that keeps me going on like this? What is it? So in these 15 minutes, lift your meditation practice to more and more awareness. And if you need to move, simply do that mindfully and continue with your meditation practice. Please stretch your legs if you need to and turn a little in this direction. In these middle days of March this year, so much coming, so much going, never knowing, is it spring? Is it winter? And ultimately, what is it that keeps us going on like this? Good morning and welcome in from the 10 directions.
Good morning.
Just a little bit to follow up High-End Storm Talk with all of us this morning. She was talking about bodhisattvas, especially this bodhisattva of compassion, great compassion, and the story. In the actual story, there is this sort of smashing of the head, just like she was talking about, and then bringing forth a person with several heads, many arms and eyes, sort of a metaphor for all of us put together. And bodhisattva, those words bodhisattva, mean an awakening being in process, not an awakened being. All the bodhisattvas are in the process of awakening. And it said that we were all like that too. We're all in the process. And the upaya, U-P-A-Y-A, upaya, it means skillful means. Skillful means. The skillful means of all the bodhisattvas are the 6 paramitas. And the bodhisattva Jijang Poso carries a rod with 6 rings on it, going around, shaking the rod, and the 6 rings which represent each of the 6 paramitas. So everything that we do has a vibration through our own body and then outward. And so the vibration of the paramitas. One of my friends at the Syracuse Zen Center has a beautiful bookmark that she sends out with the 6 paramitas on it. Be well, be safe. 2022 is this one. And I'd like to read them aloud one by one and have you experience the reciting of the paramitas in your body. Like everything that happens, we are such a sponge. So I was calling myself a klutz the other day, and I was reminded, well, that's going to be in your body, Roger. That's going to be part of your repertoire if you keep doing that. So it depends on what we do, what comes out eventually. So let's just please repeat after me. Practicing the 6 paramitas.
Practicing the 6 paramitas.
Okay, let's do it again and see if you can feel it in your body. Remember I said we have an outer eye and we have an inner eye. And the inner eye is awareness of really the inside and how every cell is affected by sounds, by actions, by thoughts. Okay, inner eye in place. Practicing the 6 perfections.
Practicing the 6 perfections.
Number 1,
Number 1,
generosity.
generosity.
Giving of oneself with wholehearted attentiveness.
Giving of oneself with wholehearted attentiveness.
Number 2,
Number 2,
morality.
morality.
Understanding and actualizing
Understanding and actualizing
the deep meaning of the precepts.
the deep meaning of the precepts.
Not to harm,
Not to harm,
but to cherish all life.
but to cherish all life.
Number 3,
Number 3,
patience.
patience.
Steadfast perseverance
Steadfast perseverance.
and cheerful willingness,
And cheerful willingness,
no matter what the circumstances.
no matter what the circumstances.
Number 4,
Number 4,
enthusiasm.
enthusiasm.
Practicing with vigor,
Practicing with vigor,
diligence,
diligence,
and assiduity.
and assiduity.
Number 4,
Number 4,
no, number
number
5,
5,
meditation
meditation
with one-pointed attentiveness,
with one pointed attentiveness,
opening to the vastness of being.
opening to the vastness of being.
Number 6,
Number 6,
wisdom,
wisdom,
lucid insight
lucid insight
into the fundamental nature
into the fundamental nature
of this great matter.
of this great matter.
And then she put 3 sort of admonitions or points. Life is short,
Life is short,
mystery profound,
mystery profound,
vow to awaken.
vow to awaken.
Reflect. What did you notice touched you in these 6 paramitas? Shall I read them again? Or have you already got it? I'm going to read it again. I shouldn't have asked, I guess. Practicing the 6 perfections. 1, generosity. Giving of oneself with open-hearted attentiveness. 2, morality. Understanding and actualizing the deep meaning of the precepts. Not to harm, but to cherish all life. 3, patience, steadfast perseverance, and cheerful willingness, no matter what the circumstances. 4, enthusiasm, practicing with vigor, diligence, and assiduity. 5, meditation with one-pointed attentiveness, opening to the vastness of being. 6, wisdom, lucid insight into the fundamental nature of this great matter Life is short, mystery profound. Vow to awaken. Again, which word or little phrase did you notice touched you, if any? And let's just go around up and down the rows. Would you please start?
Oh, patience.
Which did you?
Patience.
Yeah, I guess we're going to do this. See how you can do it slowly and slowly. As we hear from each other, it's another time to feel it in our body. All these positive things, we then have them as a reservoir within us in a certain sense.
Cherish all life. Patience. Cherish all life. Vow to awaken. Perseverance.
That to follow the precepts is to do no harm.
Enthusiasm.
Compassion.
Meditation and being. Cherish all life. Patience.
Life is short.
Life is short.
Being cheerful no matter what the circumstances. Enthusiasm. Cheerful willingness.
The vastness of being.
Open-hearted attentiveness.
Practice with vigor. Dedication.
Enthusiasm.
Patience. Mystery profound.
Follow all precepts and do no harm.
Again, open-heartedness. Opening to the vastness of being. Thank you. Let's see. We study these paramitas in depth, actually. One way, of course, is in our everyday life trying to embody them. And then Pema Chodron has a wonderful version of a commentary on the 6 paramitas, which was originally written by Shantideva. And we study this actually in a formal way each Thursday morning, and we have been for a couple of decades. So if you're wanting to understand and work with these 6 paramitas, the Bodhisattva skillful means, this book by Pema is really quite wonderful. Also on a regular basis with our temple residents, because this temple is a residential community, is The Practice of Perfection by Robert Aitken. Also looking deeply with a different kind of view than Pema at these 6 paramitas. It's very helpful to have something to read just a little bit each day, perhaps before you go to bed or when you have finished your morning practice or midday practice, whenever you practice. So I am suggesting these, and there actually are many other books that have been written on the 6 paramitas, because generosity, morality, patience, diligence, meditation, concentration, all of those are so important as each of us be one of the eyes or heads in the Bodhisattva of great compassion. And I hope during this week, as Hayun suggested, that you'll look for opportunities to exercise your eyes and hands and heart, all of those, on others' behalf as you embody yourself as an awakening human being. Yeah. In the process. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. And Magma, are you giving announcements today?
Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome. And thank you for braving the snow and daylight savings time and the blockage of the streets on the west side of town. Those of you that are coming from the west side to get here, we're happy to be able to practice with you this morning. If you have any questions, you can ask any of us wearing the gray, and we will try to answer your questions. And we encourage you to sign up to receive our weekly email bulletin if you're not already receiving it. And so there's a sign-up sheet on the table in the hall over here. And also to pick up a copy of our flyer, which is our 2023 spring schedule. So I'll just go through a few things coming up on our calendar pretty soon. This Saturday, March 18th, there will be a one-day retreat from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the retreats consist of periods of sitting meditation, walking meditation, work practice, vegetarian lunch. So if you're interested in that, there's a sign-up sheet. Also, for those of you that have been here a while and have done some retreats before, if you'd like to participate in a longer retreat, we're having our Spring Youngman Junction, which will run here in Ann Arbor from April 5th to April 9th. And so there's a separate sign-up sheet for that. We also have an introductory meditation course, which meets on 5 consecutive Thursday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And so that next session is going to start very soon on March 23rd. And then there's an overnight session if you prefer to, instead of coming on 5 Thursdays, if you want to do one overnight from Friday night until Saturday afternoon, that will be held on March 24th to 25th. And then we also offer yoga classes. Those are ongoing on Tuesday evenings from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. The introductory meditation course in particular is a nice way to learn not just about meditation, but about the basics of Zen practice. And we're always learning new things. You know, like just now, when Haju expressed that translation of the paramitas, I had always heard Virya Paramita translated before as, may I be strenuous, energetic, and persevering. And that gives the connotation of like having to plow through whatever obstacles there are. But this one was the translation of enthusiasm. And I like the positive connotation that that gives to it. And today I also learned that Kwanzaa Posal liked to eat mac and cheese, and I did not know that. So we're always learning things. We have a practice period on the life of the Buddha starting today, and it'll run for 6 Sundays, and that'll be from 2 o'clock till 3 o'clock p.m. It'll be both in person in the Sangha House, the building next door, in the conference room there, and it will also be held on Google Meet. So if you're interested in that, come and talk to me afterwards. Saram and Bhavana and I are leading that practice period. And then precepts, if you're interested in formally becoming Buddhist and taking the precepts, the preparation meetings will be held on Thursday evenings from 6:30 to 8 o'clock p.m., beginning on March 30th. And we have on the 18th, on Saturday the 18th, at the Ark, there's going to be a concert performance of a new musical called The Fourth Messenger. And the tagline for this says, "What if the Buddha were a woman living in our times?" So it promises to be very interesting. And that is, yeah, Haji's holding up the flyer for that. So that's going to be at the Ark.
At 1 on Saturday.
At 1 on Saturday, yeah. And then we have some very exciting news for you. As of April 1st, masks will be optional. So you can still wear them if you like, but they will no longer be required during our Sunday public services. Let's see what else here.
Can I just talk about the optional?
Oh, sure.
People really have each person to make their own decision about wearing a mask. It'll be great if we see someone wearing a mask, you've got a cold or you've got something that you might pass on. And if you're not, then we know that you've thought about that. Yeah. We're trying to establish upaya, skillful means with the wearing of the mask for everybody's behalf.
Yeah. As Haji mentioned, we are a residential community also. And so if you've been interested or curious about what it would be like to live in a Buddhist community, we have opportunities to do that, let's say short term as a temple stay program for a period of a week, or long term if you want to stay here for 45 years. Just talk to us and we can give you information on that. And Jagwa, did you have something to say also?
Yes, so if you're interested in taking the precepts, but you're curious about what that practice entails, there's an informational meeting right after this service in the conference room of the Sangha House, which is the big gray building at the back of the backyard, both today and next Sunday right after the morning service. So either of those is an option to learn more before you decide to make that commitment. So, or if you just have any questions, you can also ask me after the service.
Yeah, but Jago, can you give just a little more of a nutshell about what taking the precepts means?
Yeah, so once a year, we have a formal ceremony in July for everyone across the Buddhist Society for Compassionate Wisdom. So this is just one of 5 temples in our organization, and it's in celebration of people who have studied the moral guidelines of our discipline, so in our case, 8 precepts, and have worked with them over a period of a few months in a small group, really trying to apply them in their daily life. What does it actually mean not to harm, but to cherish all life? And then in that ceremony, you commit to those precepts as something that you intend to work with in your life, and you receive your Buddhist names. So you've heard many of us, my name is Chagwa, Makama, Haju, those are all of our Dharma names. And so this only happens once a year, and it's a wonderful opportunity to really work with the moral foundations of our practice, which are supported by our meditation practice and our wisdom practice, all kind of those 3 legs of the stool.
Okay, thank you. Now, in preparation for our 4 p.m., no, we're not going to have a 4 p.m. today, but in preparation for getting the room ready for the rest of the week, we'd like your assistance in moving the mats and cushions after the service is over. So the mats and cushions that are touching the inner carpet are going to stay where they are, but all the ones behind that will move. And so the ones on this side, if you can put the mats in that corner and the cushions over here, and then the ones on that side, if you can put them up on the stage, that would be very helpful. Groups meeting today, Recovery Dharma.
Recovery Dharma will be meeting in the old temple, the Yellow House next door at noon today in the library.
In the library of the Yellow House next door at noon. And the temple is supported entirely by your kind donations of time and money. There's a fishbowl in this room for monetary donations. If you'd like to volunteer your time, you can talk to us about that. And just think about how good Kwan Seum Posal is going to be at basketball with 1,000 arms.
Please down now. Yes, Gaguga?
What should we do with the
Yeah, I think what a good idea, but you can think of your own good idea, is put them somewhere to remind you of your bodhisattva practice. You know, the kind of little commitment. It could be on the mirror in your bathroom or wherever, front door. it's always good to have a little reminder of doing these things. All right. Any more questions of a practical matter? Right, please stand.
So we can go toward right now. Toward right now.
Yeah. We forgot. Mom reminded me the 4 great vows. All beings, one body.
All beings, one body.
I vow to liberate.
I vow to liberate.
Blind passions, one root.
Blind passions, one root.
I vow to terminate.
I vow to terminate.
Dharma gates, one mind.
Dharma gates, one mind.
I vow to penetrate.
I vow to penetrate.
The great way of Buddha.
The great way of Buddha.
I vow to realize.
I vow to realize.
Some of you will be going that way because all of your things are over there. I'll be doing breathing over here for those who might be going that way. Please make it vows. 1, 2, and 3.